Okay, perfect. Now look, I know I told you about my two favorite closes, but look, this is my ultimate favorite one. And look, trust me, I've got more than one favorite. I've got tons of other favorites, but look, this one ultimately has put me in a 10 times better position than most of them. And it's very simple, all right? It also lets you know ultimately where the person is. Most of these closes, to be honest with you, especially the ones that I'm very proficient in, I use them between the start and the end of the close, right? They help me garner, again, where this person is and if they're ready to pull the trigger or not. All right, so this is called the scale from 1 or 0 to 10, or 1 to 10, all right? You can play around with that, but the point is, you ask them, hey, look, from a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put this property at in my line of business? In your line of business, if you're not on real estate right now, again, if you've saw an ad and you've clicked on this because you want to learn sales, but your question would very easily be, from a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put this product or property, right? They can think, okay, well, look, about a 7. Perfect, so like what would actually take it to a 10, right? Now they're playing ball with you if they answer, right? Well, look, if this bed was bigger, if it's a furnished apartment, I'll use that because I love rentals again. If this bed was bigger, okay, right, what else would actually take it to a 10? They tell you bed, okay. Can the owner pay for refuse, or can they include the additional charges? Okay, so the charges, okay, perfect, what else? Well, look, man, if the pool area is actually more closed up, I've got kids and all that jazz. Okay, perfect. What else, right? And they give you a list of all these things that would actually put them in a position to consider this a 10 or 9 or 8. Now, remember this: it doesn't have to be a 10 for them to consider it, right? It doesn't have to be a 10 for them to say yes to you. It can even be the 7 itself, and they could still sign the deal. The only thing they're telling you right now is that this is what they actually want. This matters more to them than everything else you've shown them. Now, at that particular point, you can do one of two things. You can either, which I very prefer and highly recommend, that you show them another option. Okay? Now, it could be an option that matches this. You could have an apartment or have another mandate of an apartment that's got bigger beds, number one, or another mandate of an apartment that's got a secure pool or high level security, and more security than the one that you have them at. But whatever it is, with this information, you can then think of the properties that you have as an agent right now that you can then present to them as an additional option. Now, again, it doesn't mean that the 7 is a number that will make them not move forward with you, because even if it's a 7, they could still sign the deal and be your best tenant, assuming you manage the property anyway. But my point is that they could be your best and biggest deal, even if it's at a 7. The only thing this gives you and does for you, to be honest, it puts you in a position to, number one, be able to show them the right options, and number two, to understand what they really want and need. Because the best, or the more you can help them get them exactly what they want and need, again, the more and better that you can have that person, right, on your side moving forward, whether it's a referral or doing business with you again. But if you can understand them better by using this, it can help you. Now, I also use this again at the part where I've just presented. Again, it also tells me the same thing, but it helps me then understand what close that I can use after this. So I'll give you an example. So they tell me that, look, if the bedroom was bigger, right, that's a close, it would take it to a 10. Or they tell me if the lounge was more lighted up. All right, okay, perfect. Look, man, look, the fact that the bedroom isn't bigger than you expected, like, it wouldn't stop you from making a good decision, would it? Right. Now, their answer of the bed is also an objection, but I've now gone back to handle that new objection, because what's holding them back right now is the fact that the bedroom is smaller than they expected. Now, I can't change the bedroom. The owner can't, the developer even can't change the bedroom. And even if someone would need to pay for that, and the owner's not going to pay for it, nor am I. It's either them, but of course they wouldn't pay hundreds of thousands of rands to reconstruct a bedroom for them to say yes. But the moment you can then understand this and handle that new objection, you can find out whether will the fact that the bedroom is small hold them back from making a good decision or from moving forward with you. They can be like, well, no, it's fine. I'll use the other bedroom. This one will be for my son. Now, for someone who had no idea of this information, they could have said, okay, you know what? Let me show you something else. And they can move on. Show them something else, show them another, and still not close. But my point is that the fact that you can now understand them, You can now handle the new objection. You can ask them a qualifying question, or rather the right question, enough for them to tell you if they do it right now, which would be, hey, look, the fact that the bedroom isn't as big as you expected, it wouldn't stop you from making a good decision, would it? You'd be like, no, my son will use it, I'll use the other one, let's roll, right? So you've now understood what they want, but you've invalidated the fact that they believe it needed to be bigger, right? So which means the objection itself was not valid, it was invalid, and the fact that you knew how to handle it put you in a better position to close this deal, right? Hang 10 for the next segment. Let's roll one more close. I'll give you a bonus one, and look, it'll only make you more successful than you are today.